Cause 1 in the 6. With the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. Can you hear me? Yo. I need some crowd participation. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? You can hear me. All right. Trill well in the building. Hold on a minute. Add the stream. Sensei, what's good?
What's good, man?
Oh man, this is sloppy. I'm on the road. There's a lot that I have to do. You know what I mean? Oh man, but I could not go live today at all because what we gotta talk about today it's definitely. Can you hear me, Stormy?
Yeah, just fine.
All right, good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drive because this is crazy. I don't know how to. I got this goddamn. I'm on the road and I'm doing a whole lot right now, but it's all good though. Let's rock. I can't see the chat because I'm obviously doing stuff. So salute everybody in the chat. You know what I mean? You already know what it is. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And let's just jump right into it, man. Last night it was a thunderstrike. It was a vicious clap. It was something that I said was gonna happen. I just wasn't sure. I thought it was gonna happen in 3 rounds. There was always that chance, that puncher's chance that Rolly had. But to say that a fighter only has a puncher's chance is to say that outside of landing a well-timed or a lucky shot, other than that, they don't have any prayer of winning the fight. Rolly never had a chance, man. He did some cool things. He did some things that he was supposed to do. He surprised me because he didn't come out. I thought it was going to be a disgusting, sloppy fight. I thought he was going to maul him, try and maul Tank in the early parts of the fight, in which he would get caught. But he didn't do that. What he did do was he tried to box. You know, so salute to him for trying to box. But nah, he it ain't work out, man. But it's interesting. I was just leaving an event at my father's house, and there were people that are not really into boxing talking about the fight. And one thing that did stick out was they said, "Hey, man, I thought the little kid was They referred to Rolly as a little kid. They said, I thought the little kid was gonna do better than that." And he did say that he didn't look as polished and as professional as the kid with all the tattoos. I found that very not surprising, but it showed me something. They know the difference between someone that's selling a fight that's really full of shit and something that's really going to be a competitive fight. And the people that did watch it last night, that were not into boxing, they understood by the end of the second round that Rolly really didn't need to be in there with Tank. There was a significant difference in skill set. And I felt that was eye-opening. So Stormy, what are your thoughts on what we saw last night? Are you on mute? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh.
take myself off of mute while you were talking. Pretty much you just summarized it. What people were able to see is that Rolly was not yet ready for a fighter of Tank's class, but that does not mean that Rolly is garbage. He's just garbage if you're lining him up against Tank, because it's a wide divide between. When I did my post-fight show last night, when I talked about it earlier today on the call-in, I said that I would have liked to see Rolly, as much as people wanted to put it on in there and put him up to facing Tank. I would like to see him have about 10 more fights. And it's not about the numbers, but it's about the circumstances of boxing as a professional fighter that he had yet to come across. He never fought anyone that tested him in any kind of way. He was always matched up against opponents that his people knew this is a win on paper. And we're seeing so much of that in boxing today that when you do see someone who fares better, just like in the fight last night with Luke Santa Maria fighting Jesus Ramos, people were saying that Santa Maria was, he was awkward and this and that. No, he's a good boxer. And I stated it several times today alone. I said that he's what the old trainers used to call a cutie. He can box. He has skills. The only thing he doesn't have is the punching power to get people out of there. But he can make almost anybody look bad. He can win rounds. He can best someone as long as he's not going in there against another guy that is the house fighter that they're trying to move along. See, that's where people like him end up in the journeyman position, because they take losses against guys who have been put in a position to be marketed. But see, a skilled fighter sometimes doesn't get marketed. You have to have the right people behind you and everything. And Rolly was in a situation where he was winning fights, but he was winning fights against the type of opposition where you don't learn anything, but you just beat them. And you have knockouts against them and everything like that. But he never got to a point where he turned a corner. Remember when Shakur Stevenson got to a certain point in his career, about 5 fights ago, maybe 6, he began to take on the type of opponents that were extending him in rounds, pressing him a little more, making him show the quality of what is there underneath the surface. And you can only do that in steps. You don't try to get it all in one night.
Right.
Well, what they did with Rolly, they rolled the dice with Tank. And I know that the only reason that they did that is because of his physical stature and his strength, that they figured that would be enough against Tank. Well, Tank had told us, if you watch the All Access, he has over 200 amateur fights. How many amateur fights does Rolly have? And Tank is already, in the late 20s in his professional fights. Rolly doesn't, until last night, he didn't have 15 fights. So you can't compare apples and grapes in this situation. And in this instance, Rolly was the grape, because Tank is a fully developed apple ready to be taken off of the vine. You see?
Yes.
And Rolly is a mixture of a basket of grapes that haven't become what they could be. You see? And that's the difference in class. It's the difference in class. Now, the one thing that I saw about him last night, regardless of what everybody say, because people clowning him now because he talked a lot of crap going into the fight.
Yeah.
The one thing he did better than so many other fighters, some who even have titles today, certain names come to mind. Dillian White, AJ, a few others. He handled the event like a champ.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
The event like a champ. You wish for certain other people who may be even more accomplished to handle like he did. He handled it like a champ. Even when he got stopped, it was like that had never happened to him before. He ain't never been dazed and clocked and put out like that. But he got up, and you know what? He left the ring. I would have liked, if I was his trainer, instead of that dude that's with him, I would have made him stay there for the post-fight interview. Because this is how you teach.
That's
this
right.
Is how you teach. Because last night was a teachable moment for him.
Thank you. Yes.
But everything else, he was a professional. He fought like a professional. He just was outclassed.
That's right.
But again, a lot of it falls on the corner. And I can't say these things enough, because when I talk about these things, people get angry. They say, oh, who he think he, but I'm telling you the facts. You see,
what was the corner like? In your opinion, what was the corner like? In your, what you hear in the corner? Because I was at work. I had to catch the replay. But in your opinion, was the corner on their job?
Well, they weren't allowing us to get sound from the corner like, normally, you would like to get, where you could hear all the instructions. Now, maybe when the fight was over, they went back and played some stuff with that audio tracks thing. But by that time, I was already trying to get ready for the post-fight show, because I listened to Tank's interview with Jim Gray, and then I went on and started getting set up. But I'll say this. His trainer, what's that guy's name?
Booker T. Booker T.
Okay, yeah.
Booker T.
Yeah. What I will say about that is, in those 5.5 rounds, let's just say 4.5, because after the first round, the instructions are supposed to begin. You should have your game plan going into round 1, but by the time your charge comes back to his stool at the end of round 1, it's time now to start, giving him instructions and things like this. I did not see adjustments. And that's not necessarily on Rolly, because Rolly only had 14 fights of professional experience going into this fight.
That's right.
What Booker T was supposed to remind Rolly of is this. This guy got more experience than you. Don't go in there trying to chase him down. Do something different. Let's change things up a little bit. Get out there in front of him, snap a couple of good jabs at him, stab him in the stomach, stab him in the chest, stab him in the face, and if you score the shot, step away from him. Now, when you do that, he's going to come at you, because young fighters, I don't care who they are, Tank or whoever, if you score well against him, he's going to come back to get that get back. So once he starts coming at you to get the get back, you now got him coming after you, and the original game plan to run him into something can take place. But you got to set it up. You can't just do it. It has to be set up. And because Tank is a little smarter than just rushing in there to him, it got to be cat and mouse. Yes. Maybe even to the degree that you make him think you don't want to fight. And if you make him think you don't want to fight, he's going to get aggressive with you. Come on, chump, let's go. And you say, nah, sucker, you got to come and get me. You change things up. Remember, you got 12 rounds to work with. This is a championship fight. The fight is not won in one increment of time unless you're able to land that proverbial bomb that we talk about. but the bomb has to have a launching pad.
That's right.
And if everybody knows you got a bomb, they're not gonna help you get to the launching pad, are they?
No, absolutely not.
You have to set things up. So these are the things that I noticed as I'm watching the fight. But Rolly has a lot to build on. He really does. And I said this last night, this morning, I'll say it again here. He needs to get rid of that guy who's coaching him.
Yeah, man.
Not that, okay, oh, he's so horrible. But you're at a certain level now because of last night's fight. You need improvement. And he's taking you as far as you could go with that.
That's right.
Now you could bring someone else in. You don't even necessarily have to get rid of the guy, but he can no longer be your head trainer.
That's right. Add something to it.
You need someone who can take you to the next level. Lennox Lewis, when he got knocked out by Oliver McCall, he got rid of his trainer that he had, and he went and sought Emmanuel Stewart out.
That's right.
He immediately made a change because he realized if I want to be better than where I am, I have to be better than the guy who beat me. So why not get the guy who beat me's coach? And at that time, Oliver McCall was trained for that fight by Emmanuel Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
See, these are the X's and O's. And Tank knocking him out, Tank ran him into something without looking to run him into something. It was experience.
That's right.
It was experience. Mm-hmm. Tank knew what to do. If you come in wide open, I'm going to close the door on you. And he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And you heard Tank say, I didn't even hit him with the hardest punch I could throw.
You hit him hard.
I just threw the shot. But that's what happened because it's muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
Been in these circumstances before. Rolly had not. You know, the size of the event, everything he was dealing with, pressure to live up to what he said, all of that, that was on his mind. If you think it wasn't, I got some, land to sell you out in the center of the Atlantic.
I saw it in the ring walk. I looked right in his face. I saw it in the ring walk. I said, oh, that don't look like the same kid, just like that. Just like that. When I watched it, when I came home, I said, look, okay.
Well, I was looking for, to see, how it would affect him on the ring walk. To me, he looked like he was focused on the ring walk. I didn't take too much out of that. If you look at his look on his face when he left the ring, he looked like he hadn't completely woke up yet and everything, and he was just trying to figure things out.
You're right.
But this is what I'm trying to say, how he handled the situation, because he knew the pressure and everything. He knew that, so he was trying to be a man. He was trying to be a pro, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But this is where you get failed by these inadequate cornermen. If you don't have someone that can tell you what to do because they don't know what to do, you're lost at sea, bro.
That's right.
You see? And so that's what I got. That's what I gathered from that. But he was a professional. He was a professional. And then we ask, a lot of times we beg for that. We just saw several months ago Josh Taylor get his ass whooped by Jack Catterall. Mm-hmm. And Josh Taylor behaved like it didn't happen. Dude, we saw it happen. We got tapes. You were on the canvas and everything. But he tried to behave like it didn't happen. That's not a professional. Now, no, you don't have to go out and tell the world, well, he whooped my ass. No, you don't have to do that. But some humility in saying, you know what? Maybe I have to take a step back and regroup myself. Maybe I need to think about what my priorities are, because I could have been overlooking the guy or whatever. But if I fight again, I might want to even consider giving him a rematch because I want to prove who I say I am. There's nothing wrong with that. That's called accountability. How many are showing accountability today? And how many of them do the PTB put in front of your face as if they're really good? Canelo Alvarez, huh? Vasily Lomachenko, huh? Triple G, huh? And this other guy, Valdez, who just lost. All of these guys, where's the accountability? Where is it?
None.
You see?
So, go ahead.
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
All right. So you're spot on with that. So, BS aside, we clowned Rolly because Rolly sold the fight. I think Rolly is still marketable. I think that Rolly right now, look, he lost a Tank. I mean, we could turn around like right now. People say, "Yo, look, it was Tank." I mean, we gave him a shot because of all the trash he was talking, but it was Tank. So this is a forgivable loss, is what I'm saying. There's still marketability for Rolly right now, depending on who's guiding him and depending on his next move. The corner, as you said, instrumental. So right now, if you don't want to get rid of Booger T, and that's not his name, we know that's not his name. We just we just call him Booger T. He needs something. He needs additional work. He needs to learn some new tricks. He's athletic. The kid is strong. I will go as far as to say he has a lot of natural ability. He's not in the Mayweather camp for no reason. All right. He has cojones, man. He has balls. He was
some of those
trash in the post fight.
Some of those qualities you just mentioned, Drew, they are hard to find in fighters today because those are the qualities of substance you can build on.
Yes.
He happens to have the gift for gab. So guess what? He'll be able to sell whatever fight he's in. But those other qualities that you mentioned, they are hard to find in fighters today. So imagine if you pair that up with more confidence from an accomplished teacher. Okay. And then someone who can teach him how to handle circumstances by matching him up against the right type of opponents going forward, that where he's going to learn these things quickly.
Right.
Bringing sparring in that will help him learn these things quickly because he can turn things around. But see, again, that thing about being prideful and thinking like, well, like AJ did when he lost. Oh, it was a punch from the gods. So, but he didn't go out and study and get better. And then just a couple fights later, he's losing again because he didn't think he was the problem. The problem is always when you look in the mirror, Drew, and chat, the problem begins when you look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
If you cover the mirrors up in your house, that doesn't mean that you're not there, does it? It just means that you don't see yourself.
Means you don't see yourself. Now
but
you
if
see,
you walk through life like that, everybody see you, don't they? And then they see the things that you don't see in yourself, and then they can tell you about yourself, and all you're going to do is be mad. So take the covers off the mirrors, look at yourself in the mirror, stare till you get tired. And then you say, you know what? It's on me. Yeah, that's a breakthrough.
Right.
And
do me a favor, Stormy.
A moment for anybody out there because, like I said, the things that I say when I talk about boxing, you can apply this to everyday life.
Everyday life.
And you will find
everyday life
yourself in a better position to face a new day.
I need you to do me a favor, Stormy. I'm driving, so I'm gonna need you to read the super chats if I miss it, because I can't even look at the chat.
Okay, I didn't see anything yet.
Yeah. I saw one pop up and I missed it. I'm sorry, whoever that was. I apologize. I'm on the road.
We got Jermaine. Okay, I see it. Jermaine Bean out there in the super chat. He says Berlanga is the prime example. I guess he's talking about when Berlanga, out there winning fights, but having struggles and everything. But when
he when he gets in there against better opposition, we're gonna see what he's made of. Of course, here I go. He's from Brooklyn. I'm supporting him. Y'all hear me, right? Y'all hear me? But we're gonna see what he's made of when he has to think outside the box.
Right.
But when that time comes, we'll talk about it. But Rolly's an interesting character. Back to Rolly. He's an interesting character. This was fun. The build-up was fun. The lead up, because we're supposed to have this fight long time ago. But he had some legal issues, which is fugazi. I'm glad it happened for him. It didn't work out for him like he had planned it. But like I said, the kid has some natural abilities, and I'm wondering, he's still young. Does he have the mentality to switch some things up? And do you think he's coachable enough to switch things up and become a better boxer and use those natural abilities to move forward in his career? Do you think so?
You think you're talking about Rolly still?
Yeah, I'm talking about Rolly. Yeah.
Okay, this is the thing. What would be nice is for him to sit down and have a great discussion with his people, whoever's managing him, his trainer. If I were his trainer, meaning that guy there, I would say, you know what? We might want to bring someone else in, because there are things that I just can't teach you, bro. I mean, I feel solid in what I'm doing. See, that guy might be a good amateur coach. You know what I'm saying? He might be a good amateur coach, meaning a guy who can get you started and on your way. But somewhere along your path, you need someone that can pick it up for you. It's just like in personal training and stuff like that. You got different types of personal trainers. And when someone's working with you to a certain degree, you might require something else, and they have to pass you on to someone else because they say, well, you know what? I know someone who can give you what you're really looking for. That might not necessarily be my forte, but I could pass you on. See, that's a good person that does that. But someone who's just an opportunist that just wants to be there because they want to reap some money, economic benefit, then no. Because it's up to you whether you want to retain them or not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, right, if I can get you better counsel, I'm going to point you in the area of better counsel, because guess what? If it benefits you and you grow from it and you truly are a good person, you won't forget me. You see?
True story.
And the vine is there because we've established some type of lane of understanding with one another. I maybe have taken you as far as you could go, but there will be others who come along and you could say, you know what? Stormy is good, man. This is what he can do for you. That's all you need. Right. But for someone that's going to try to mask that and just try to cover things up, and then it's going to eventually they're going to end up getting fired by you anyway.
That's right.
Because you're going to be like, man, you know, remember when in Rocky, what was it, Rocky 5 with Tommy Gunn, when Rocky was teaching him the right way, but then he got these other people after he got rid of Rocky, and they were just trying to put him in to get the money, and he was like, man,
getting that bread.
You running me into the ground. And that's exactly what happens. We got a super chat out there. We got a super chat out there from AI, and he says Booker T didn't help Rolly out the ring or walk him down the tunnel. During the knockout, he was talking to people in the background, smiling, not even paying attention. If that's true, man, I didn't watch that part of it. I didn't, I wasn't zeroed in on that. I was trying to get ready for the post fight. But if that's true, man, that's even more reason that, Rolly can reassess things. Remember, we saw that with Wilder, right? With certain individuals.
We damn sure did.
And this is
damn sure did.
This is before the fall. but we were seeing things, you know.
I like that you use the Rocky reference, because there's also something that we saw in the movie Creed
Yes.
when he was in the gym and he looks at Rocky. He says, "Yo, man, look, man, are you paying attention?" Because you see Rocky reading the paper. He says, "Look, man, there's certain." He said to him, I believe, he said, "There's certain things that I can't do anymore, but I'm here. I'm here." And he brought other people in the camp to assist.
Yes.
You understand? That's what trainers do. If you have a general love for the person you're actually helping, because that's what trainers do. That's why a lot of trainers, when you see them with fighters for a long time, they develop like a father-son or a brother relationship, like a family-style relationship.
Yep.
Because it gets deeper than them just, it becomes deeper than a business relationship.
Right.
And that's why, when you mentioned Deontay Wilder, that's why that situation that we're talking about was very heartbreaking.
Right.
Because we knew he thought it was one thing and it was really something else.
Right. Right.
It turned out to be fucking Anakin flipping on Obi-Wan type of thing.
Yep.
It was a backstab. It was a backstab. So if this guy, Booker T, if he was laughing and joking, and I watched this guy, I never heard of this guy prior to Rolly. He seems like a character himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to dump on him, but I'm like, are they in on this? Or is he just like gassing Rolly up? And because Rolly was trash talking all the way up to the first round. And I'm like, all right, he got to fight now. Because that's what Tank told him on Friday. He said, the bullshit aside, man, we got to fight now. And I'm watching this Booker T guy, and I'm looking at him like, is he for real? Is this who he is? I want data on him just for curiosity. I want to know, who is he training? Is he genuine? Is that voice that he has? He speaks with a raspy voice. Is that all shtick, or is that really him? I need to know these things. I want to know if he's really chill in his behavior, because if he's not, if this was just an act, if people who know him say, yo, look, he's not really like that, then he just went all the way to the bank with Rolly. And he was just along for the ride, and Rolly needs to get away from him, all right, and start making some phone calls with some real trainers. If you want to, now Rolly, he did say that he wants that Tank smoke again. He said, yo, if he'll fight, if he's a man, he'll fight me again. He's still calling him out his name, and I dig that, but not gonna running it back right to get knocked out again, buddy. You're just gonna get knocked, and it might happen earlier. We don't know what damage you suffered. Again, that's the first time that's ever happened to him, and you might be speaking out of anger. But the best thing for Rolly to do is, you're absolutely right, Stormy. Coaching. Now, coaching is only as good as the discipline of the fighter. If the fighter's not disciplined, coaching doesn't matter. All right. So again, Rolly has a lot of talent. He has a lot of natural ability. But get rid of Booker T or add to the team. I need Rolly's next move. I've used this with Canelo, and I'm using it for Rolly right now. His next new move needs to be his best move. He needs to assess what's going on and add or change his camp. Once I see that, I know he's taking it seriously. Because trash talking ain't gonna help. Because his next fight, he could be the butt of every joke in boxing if he loses his next fight. Because I'm looking at the landscape of the division he's in right now. Honestly, who's he beating? Who's he beating? Ryan? Is he fighting Ryan Garcia? Is Ryan ready to jump on that now? And I'm gonna get to Ryan Garcia in a second. But I mean, what's next? If not Tank, Stormy, what's next for Rolly? If not Tank?
Well, his best bet, if he's looking for a win, he has to get in there against one of the guys that has a name, that might be a little faded, and that he can have some success against. Now, what's the guy's name that Lomachenko won a couple of fights ago, just before he fought Teofimo? No, before he fought Teofimo. He fought that veteran Latin guy. What's the guy's name?
Linares?
There you go.
Yeah.
A guy like Linares. It's a good fight for him. Because Linares lost of, I think, his last fight over there in Germany or something last year. He was winning the fight and got stopped late in the fight.
Late in the fight. Yep.
Yeah, and that's a good veteran for him, to come back, because he ain't never fought nobody on that level yet. Tank was above the level of Linares, basically. So he's not really taking a step back, because that's that class of fighter of experience. You can gain from that. That's a good fight for him, someone like that. We had another super chat here from AI. AI says, congratulations to the champ Tank. It was amazing to see Tank's exquisite footwork. The champ was a true artist in there. Let's calm that down a little bit, AI, man. It's like, Tank was in there with a guy who had 2 lead feet, bro. We knew that. Now, Tank did what he was supposed to do, and that was to provide mobility, to not allow Rolly to be planted to get off a lot of those real heavy shots that he was looking to launch. You have to move to do that. You have to make the guy pick his feet up to do that. And we always have said that Tank can box. So using lateral movement and being in and out, side to side, doing what he needs to do necessarily to allow rounds to pass, to allow the event and the adrenaline of Rolly to subside and let him catch him when he's starting to get a little tired or whatever, because when you're tight and everything, you burn up a lot of your conditioning, because that's that aggression and all of that. It burns like fire on paper, So Tank was very smart in there, but you also have to look at Coach Ford, who's in Tank's corner, who knows these things as well. So spread that love, huh? Spread that love. Tank wasn't Sugar Ray Robinson in there with his movement, but he was doing what was necessary. When a person doesn't do what's necessary, that's when you look at them and say, well, why didn't he do X, Y, Z? Why couldn't he just do this or that? See, he could do it because it's a part of who he is. It's a part of what he does as a fighter. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But he was fighting a guy who had lead feet. You can't overlook that. I'm always give an honest assessment of things. I'm not gonna like put somebody too high or put someone too low. It's like there's always a place of recognition where you can see something and say, oh, you could add to this, or you can maybe take a little bit of something off, or whatever. So you're breaking up a little bit, Drew. You're breaking up a little bit. You kind of roboting or something. You may be driving in a bad area or something. Stand by, chat, while we wait to see what happens with Drew. Okay. Yeah, you're back now.
Right, yeah. I'm down by Chelsea Piers. There's got a lot of antennas around here. It's crazy. Yeah. So now I hear you. We give Tank full credit for the win. And respect the Tank, man. He did what he had to do. But it was Rolly. He did have 2 lead feet. You know what I'm saying? But salute to Tank though, man. I was chopping it up with somebody on Instagram. Now, what's next for Tank? And here's what I'd like to see. Here's what I like to see. We got a very important fight coming up. I wasn't too worried about this fight. And, you know, honestly, I didn't have a horse in the race. You know, I fucks with Tank, but I don't hate Rolly. But, you know, the trash talking, you know, he had an opportunity to back it up and he failed. So whatever. But this week, we got Devin Haney versus that bozo. Now, I have a strong disdain for Cam Bozo, and y'all know why. And all this week, we're going to touch on various things. But I'm going to jump a little ahead. I need Devin to style on Cam Bozo. Don't play with him and get him out of there. Because how big would it be to see Devin versus Tank in like Atlanta or in Vegas somewhere? To me, that fight right there is pivotal. I would love that. And, you know, I'm not jumping ahead because Devin got to go in there and do his thing against Cam Bozo. But Tank right now, Tank versus Devin, oh man, Tank versus Devin after Devin wins undisputed. And I just have this, I just like in a perfect world, I want Devin to beat Cam Bozo so bad that people be like, yo, I know he got a rematch clause, but there was nothing about this fight that he won, man. Rematch for what? You know, in a perfect world. But I want Devin versus Tank next, but Devin got to handle business first. Your thoughts on that?
Okay, let me get your super chat first. You got a super chat from Ella E out there, and Ella E saying Tank was looking like Benny Leonard in there. Salute to you, Ella E. Thank you for the super chat. My thing, what I think about that is, yeah, that's a great fight on the horizon. And what I was going to say is this: Tank needs to, just like we've said and demanded now of Canelo, got to start facing his contemporaries now. You can't be feasting on guys who we know that you'll beat, guys that you know that suffering from athletic disadvantages and things of that nature. It's time to start cleaning up with your contemporaries, guys who have a name in the sport like you do, and you don't want to go to the end of your career and people say, like, you two guys were right there. Why you never did anything? So you don't want that. And there may be two opponents that are not of class that he can consider because they're coming up. And to me, Rolly wasn't even coming up. Rolly was just picked for this opportunity.
Right.
But when you look at guys like Michelle Rivera, you know, or that other young fighter down there, was that trying to think of, it's a Nakatani. Those fighters like that, those are fighters trying to come up there where you are. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but they're not there. But the contemporaries are Lomachenko, Haney, Bozo Circus. You got Teofimo is still kind of hanging around. He hasn't decided where he really want to go. But I think personally that he's just trying to stay out of that division of 135 because he know the heat is in the kitchen big time. But what he doesn't realize is the heat is even hotter at 140. He don't know what he's doing. You understand? I think he and his dad are on a cash hunt. They're looking to make a certain amount of money and then get the hell away from boxing. I actually believe that about Teofimo. But as far as what Tank should do now, he should start picking people off. The first name, and I said this earlier, that should be on his hit list should be Vasily Lomachenko.
Yes, sir.
That should be the first name on his hit list. Whatever someone says, he should say Lomachenko. If they say Vasily's name, then his name should be said right next to Vasili's name. If they say Tank's name, he should demand say Lomachenko's name next to mine, because as Deontay so eloquently said so many times, speak it, believe it, receive it. It's time for Tank to start taking that into action for himself. If he wants to have a greater command on his career, tell Leonard Ellaby and whoever else is around there, I got to start fighting these contemporaries. And don't let somebody try to put Ryan Garcia's name in there with you, because he doesn't even deserve to be there. The young man is not really a fighter. He's a social media sensation. He's no different than KSI and those dudes, the Pauls and stuff. That's what he is. That's what he is in reality. But Vasily Lomachenko has a name. He has a legacy. He has something that you can take away from him and put it on for yourself as a badge of honor going forward in the sport. It's time to do these things. It's time to take that step. Start on it. And don't say all their names, because you know they're going to ask you. The media is going to say, well, who would you like next? What about this guy? What about that guy? They'll throw the names out there because they just want to hear the talk. They want to hear the rebuttal and all of that. No. Pick your target and stay on it.
Stay on it.
If you go to a top-rank event, and Tank can do this, Vasily Lomachenko sitting in the audience, sit a couple of seats behind him. Be there where he's at. You understand? And this is what, because people, remember, speak it, believe it, receive it. When people start seeing you around these guys, and don't think, Tank, because you're fighting on pay-per-view, and Leonard Ellaby loves that, right? He's like, well, he's fighting pay-per-view, this and that, or whatever. These are still people that could get you paid many times over than you being paid right now. So
true story.
You go to a top rank event, and Vasily Lomachenko sitting there in the audience, when they pull him up there to speak to whoever the top rank announcers are there, and they say, be standing right there off camera. Be standing right there.
I agree.
And then they, oh, look who we have here, and then step right on camera. Yeah, when we gonna
fight?
Yeah. Am I telling it? And would you like to see that?
True. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to stalk these guys, man. You know, one thing I'll give guys like the internet guys like Jake Paul or whatever. Those guys are notorious trolls, man.
Yeah.
But they get their point across.
Yep.
So if you're making millions of dollars and you got the skills to back up what you're doing, troll. This guy, Jake Paul, paid some guys to jump up in the ring with Canelo. You remember that?
Yep.
And they were standing right there. Canelo looked at them and was like, yo, get the fuck out of here. I was like, who are those guys? They had a Jake Paul shirt or something. Yeah. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But this is what these guys got to do.
This is what you got to do.
This is the type of time they on. Yeah.
And see, I'll tell you something. They wouldn't even be expecting that from Tank. They wouldn't expect it. But it'll generate so much buzz, Drew and chat, that people will start talking about it, and they'll be like, they want to see something now. And they at any time when they pull up with Tank and have a mic asking him something, they could be asking him about his babies. They could be asking him about, are you going to re-sign with Mayweather or whatever. Tank should stop all of this stuff and say, listen, I'm saying it right here, right now. I want Vasily Lomachenko. I want to knock him out. Yeah. Rumblings. Huh? And stay on him. Stay on him. And say, I tried to call him. They gave me his phone number. It keeps going straight to voicemail. Lie like they do. Huh?
Exactly.
I invited him to a press conference last week, and then he, at the last minute, told me he couldn't make it, so we didn't announce it. What? Vasily, did you hear from Tank Davis? Oh, that's a lie or whatever. And then the next time he's somewhere at a venue, you show up right there and you be standing right behind him.
Come on
See,
now.
that's how you listen. I'm telling you, man, this is how you stoke the flames. And eventually the guy is going to be, look, you know what? I got to fight this guy. I got to fight him. Now you got him. As Dave Chappelle used to say on the show, gotcha, bitch. Yeah, that's what you do to him. Because when you put him in that situation where he has his back against the wall, he, of course, as a fighter, he's going to come out swinging. But we know who got the knockout punch, right?
I'm going through the tunnel. If I lose you, just keep talking.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But this is important, man. These are the type of things that a fighter like Tank, he's in position to do now. There was a time when they used to have to try to sell Tank and everything. Tank don't need to be sold anymore. Tank has arrived. He's arrived. The next step now is to tell these people that he wants them, and he wants them in the ring. But not everybody. Pick a guy and stay on his helmet and be ready to anything out. It's like Lomachenko. That's who I want. Lomachenko. I know he ducking. I know he trying to hide behind the conflict over there and everything. He went over there because he didn't really want me. You know what I'm saying? Just say it.
Just say it.
Yeah. You think what they gonna do? Keep running from him? That's gonna look bad to the public.
When he comes back from the war, and God willing, hopefully he comes back, and when that shit is over, he got to get back in the ring. Get in there with Tank. Get in there with Tank. Get in there. Get in there with Tank, man.
It's gotta be done. You know what I mean? It's got to be done. Someone in the chat, John Burke, says, what about Gary Russell? Listen, if he picks the Russell brother to be the one that he starts using the name, use that name, but don't bounce around to a bunch of guys. Stay on one guy. I use Vasily as an example, but the point, I don't want the point to be missed, is that this is what he has to do now. As a guy who basically is the box office, when he starts saying somebody's name, people pay attention to it, and it can happen. He just fought a guy that nobody knew, and the stadium was filled to the max. Imagine if he fights a guy who people know, like a Russell brother or something like that, but it's like, what we're talking about here still stands. You got to start fighting your colleagues and contemporaries.
Yes.
You face those guys. Look at Canelo. Look at how he getting drilled by us on a daily basis. And we're going to continue. Both feet down on his neck. Huh?
Sure.
Smashing the taps into his skin because that's what he deserves. He been tiptoeing around the quality fighters that he could be facing for the past 3-4 years. He's been tiptoeing around these guys. And now he wants to fight a Geritol 40-year-old Triple G who ain't fought in 3 years. Huh?
Unbelievable.
He wants to face that guy. Dude, in all sincerity, you got unfinished business with Dimitri Bivol. Huh? In all sincerity. Because Bivol said, I ain't through kicking his ass. I want to come down to 168 and take the belts that he got down there too. You see? That's what happens. When you play with the snake, you get bit. Huh?
That's right.
Now you asking for the antidote. Triple G ain't no antidote, bro. He ain't.
Nope. Everything you're saying is absolutely correct, man. Tank needs to pick one, stay on their bumper, right? And don't take his foot off the gas. Now, he said everyone. He didn't say anyone specific.
Right.
He didn't say anyone specific, but I need him to be specific now.
Right. And we do know that out of the list of whoever's available, that there's one that they might prefer right off the bat. So let that be the name that you do drop and stay on that name. That's all. Remember
Man.
when Floyd decided to put De La Hoya in his sights, that's all he was talking about. That's all he was
True
talking
story.
about. And De La
True
Hoya
story.
started saying, well, if you're going to fight me, I got to have this amount and you can take that amount. Floyd was like, okay. He was like, well, if you're going to fight me, we got to be at this weight and you got to be at that. Floyd was like, okay. He was like, if we fight me, we got to have these gloves and this and that. Floyd was like, okay. Eventually, the fight took place and Floyd got him. Gotcha, bitch. You see what I'm saying? That's how you do it. Yeah. And
Yo, man, that's exactly how it's supposed to happen. And him leaving Floyd and all that stuff, man, that was, to me, there might have been a little bit of beef there, but that was just a distraction. It was just a distraction. It's over with now. Everything's cool. You know what I mean? And now we can move on.
Hey, Drew, just to give an example, back in history, back in 1964, everywhere Sonny Liston went, Cassius Clay was right there. He was right there. He was at the casino. Cassius Clay was at the casino. He was sleeping in his home late in the night. Here come Cassius Clay in a big old bus with a bullhorn. Hey, you big ugly bear, come on out here. I'll fight you right now. He was like everywhere. He got the fight. He was gonna get the fight anyway, but it's like he stirred things up so much that Sonny Liston was like, "Man, I gotta knock this kid out." You understand? And
Ali was the first troll, the first troll of boxing. Ali was the first troll of boxing. That was hilarious. Oh Lord!
And you know what?
Lord.
When he became the world champ, he was still trolling people.
Man,
Trump is trolling people, man. It's usually the other way around, right? Ali was like,
get no better.
Hey, he showed up
no better than that.
Conference. He showed up to a press conference with Floyd Patterson and Custody Amato. He had a bag of carrots, and he told Floyd Patterson, he's like, look here, I don't want to mess with your trainer, because you know Ali and Custody Amato had a good rapport and relationship. Ali was like, right. I don't want to mess with your trainer, but I want you to know, Floyd, from here on now, from now on, your name is the Rabbit. And he had a bag of carrots, and he handed them to Floyd.
Man, that was hilarious, man. That is hilarious. The Rabbit. Yo. Hey, man, Ali was ahead of his time. Ali was ahead of his time, man. He didn't get no
man,
he ain't get no better than Ali, man. Ali was the original troll. I can only imagine if there was a social media back then. Yo, forget about it. Forget about it. It's like I'm trying to get past it. Why would they put a stop sign here? And there should be a light. This is retarded. Yeah, here I go. I'm just gonna go. I'm about to floor it. Hold on, y'all. These cats is really not letting me go. This is crazy.
Just be careful.
Man, I'm gonna go, man. Fuck these guys, man. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I'm going. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Yeah, man. But I man, listen. The world legitimately is at Tank's hands. He has a lot of options at this point. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of options, and he just needs to face. He needs to make the right one. Devin wins next week. Call out Devin. He wins next week. Call out Devin. All right. If I don't even want to speak that into existence, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
If it doesn't look, Tank has options. Plus, he's the money man. Because from what I was hearing, that was a hell of a event last night. There was a lot of seats sold. I don't know what the actual numbers were. but I'm assuming it did well. I'm assuming it did well. So yeah, Tank a star.
Yeah,
Tank a star. Tank a star. So
definitely
he can get
that,
it
bro.
popping, man. He's
Definitely
definitely a
that.
star, man. So I just want to know. I want him to make a good move. And I wish him all the luck in the world. But what I want to talk about before I get out of here, did you see Ryan Garcia make that bet with Errol Spence?
Wow, yeah, man. I saw and heard about that.
Bro, listen. First of all, I didn't know the young man had 20K to give up like that. But I ain't gonna, look, he got some kind of money he got. He got some what you call it money, I guess. I guess he got some Gatorade money. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at that. You dig? I ain't know he was balling like that, but it's whatever. But dig this here, man. I don't know if they were playing or not, but they shook hands on it. You owe Errol some bread, young man.
Yeah.
You owe Errol some bread, young man. And I wonder if you're a man of your word. Where do I have it? I know I uploaded it here. I'm pulled over now. Let me see something. Here we go. Well, first, let's play this. And then there's this.
What's the bet? What's the bet? What's the bet? 20K I got on release, he got on Tank. Yeah. Okay. No, don't play with me. I'll pay you shit tomorrow. Alright, so you don't don't play with me. I'll pay you shit tomorrow. Don't play with me. I'll pay you shit tomorrow. Don't play with me. I'll pay you shit tomorrow. Don't play with me. I'll pay you shit tomorrow.
Listen, whether it's for the Luti or his booty, we know that the simp King Rye gives it up. You understand? So he got no choice because that's the truth he talking to. And Earl gonna be about that business. He gonna be on his neck if he don't get his money. I know that's right. I know that's right.
True story. True story. Come up off that bread. And I'm wondering, real quick, was that an emotional bet? Was he hoping that was he rooting for Rolly because it was beneficial to him? It's easier for me to beat Rolly than it is for Tank. Was he rooting for Rolly out of convenience? You think that? You think so?
It's hard to get into the mind of a simpleton, Drew. We saw that throughout this whole promotion with Rolly and building up with Tank. So I don't know what type of common ground or whatever that Ryan aligned himself with Rolly, because the consensus, common sense, says that Rolly didn't have enough experience to deal with Tank Davis. That's at the beginning of the conversation, which is why all those folks who were like really rooting for Rolly and thinking that he's gonna knock Tank out and this and that, it's like, really, y'all ain't really watching the sport for what the sport is truly about, man. Anybody in a fight has a puncher's chance as long as they throw punches, huh? Anybody. I tell people that when they come into the gym, I say anybody could ball their fists up and make a fist and punch the other person. But how you do it, why you do it, what to do. All of these different scenarios are what you're supposed to learn formulating in the gym. And it's a whole host of things that go on that before you get to that point of striking. You see? So how Ryan arrived at betting Earl Spence, who just, did you see what he did to your Dennis Ugas in his fight? And you don't want to pay that man his money?
Yo, Danny said it. He said, "Don't play with them bands." He said it. So I don't know what's Ryan gonna do. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't even know if it's a serious thing. You know what I'm saying? But he made the bet, man. Pay up, man. You ain't gonna bet 20K if you ain't got it. Pay up. And I don't know what made him think that Rolly. Listen, man. When I'm looking at a fighter and I say, well, he has a puncher's chance, I'm basically telling you, outside of him landing a shot, he's not winning.
Right.
That's the translation. So, man, fuck Ryan, man. Do something to make me want to watch you.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
And people didn't know going into last night's fight, that Rolly had a slim and none chance of winning that fight. And somewhere during the end of the first round, Slim got up out of his seat and walked away. And None came and sat where Slim was. And Slim ain't been seen since. I just wanted y'all to know that, that they were covering that with the media, but Slim left the arena before the fight was over. And None showed up and was right there ringside. So when you saw Tank after the knockout jump up on the ropes and he was yelling out into the crowd, he was yelling at None, telling him, "I told you." I told you.
Yo, man. Yo, I gotta bring this to a close, man. Man, Stormy, thank you so much, brother, man. Let everyone know how they can find you, man. If you're not subscribed to Stormy, man, I don't know what's wrong with you. There's a reason why we call him the sensei. Now, he breaks this down to a science and he backs it up with facts on top of facts. You know what I mean? Let them know how they can find you, Stormy.
And everybody can find me right there on YouTube, man. Stormy B Man is the channel. I'll go ahead and drop the link in the chat there for people for convenience sake. But we got shows, several shows a week. The Tuesday tussle every Tuesday night, the Friday night chop session every Friday night. Of course, on Saturdays we got post-fight shows, and Sunday morning the call-in show. The evening shows are usually 8 p.m. Central. Of course, the post-fights are after the batch is in. And Sunday mornings, 10:30 a.m., we got the call-in. So that's what's happening with us there, man. And we had a great call-in show this morning. Great post-fight show last night. It's funny. Once I started saying certain things last night, the numbers dropped. It's like I was watching, because it's funny because I was saying some unfavorable things, which is, what I'm known to do. And I like that. I appreciate that. But they drop out of there and then they go and be peeping through the blinds and the bushes. What he's saying.
The truth knows no bounds. The truth knows no bounds. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I'm gonna go handle this business, brother. Man, I appreciate you for helping me out, hold me down. I was on the road. I never did this StreamYard thing on my phone while I'm driving. But I said, you know what? There's such a big fight, and believe it or not, this fight is pivotal. More on that tomorrow morning. But I said I can't not go live today because I just couldn't, So I appreciate you, Stormy, for helping me out, man. I appreciate everyone. Salute to everybody in the Cash App, the Zelda, the Venmo, the Super Chats. Much love and appreciation to all of you. And you already know what it is. Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. That's the sensei. I'm Drew Titan. And I will see you tomorrow.
Peace.